Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse DC Direct Page Puncher Injustice Green Arrow. They already released an Injustice 2 video game Green Arrow, and this is going to be a version of Green Arrow from the Injustice comic. The only real difference is he's got that signature green hat. I found this figure at Target. Had one store punching the number for me. They said this other Target had 6 of them. Only one Target in the whole city. So I went there, and bam, there he was. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, ages 12 plus, includes exclusive comic book in English language. DC Direct, McFarlane Toys. DC Direct is back in this form by artist-specific figures from McFarlane. It's good to see that logo again. It's been a while. DC Green Arrow. Here he is in the package. He has a quiver, bone arrow, collector's card, display stand, and a comic book. One side of the package, Green Arrow from the Injustice 2 comic, part of the Page Puncher line. Other side, Page Punchers. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode in case it helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Green Arrow, here's the comic. So no further ado, let's open him up. And I was able to pick up both the figures from the wave, both Green Arrow and Batman. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, a collector's card, a comic book, and then his bow, his arrows, and a quiver. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Green Arrow from the Injustice 2 comic book. His look is very similar to the Injustice game. I believe the figure is the exact same figure. Simply has a hat added onto this figure. And I actually really prefer the hat look. It's very signature to Green Arrow, his classic iconic look. Kind of has that Robin Hood vibe to him. So let's take a peek. Start with his head here. He's got the hat. It's got an arrow on either side going through the hat. He's got that domino mask. He's got the signature goatee and sort of twirled mustache. Very, very iconic for Oliver Queen. Shoulder pads. Semi-armored outfit. Of course, it's done in a couple different shades of green. Double-jointed elbows. Double-jointed knees. Green boots. Kind of big on the side. Overall, it's a cool-looking figure. A little bit too much of the same from the figure before. Definitely liking that hat, though. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Signature goatee, signature hat and domino mask. Best Green Arrow figure McFarlane's released so far. Now let's check out his accessories. And let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand. Black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got one peg for the peg on his feet. It's very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's a replica of Injustice 2 #1. We've got Batman, Supergirl, Dr. Fate, and Green Arrow. We know they're making a Supergirl figure, and I bet they make a Dr. Fate for this as well. Green Arrow. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead, pause now. Now let's look at his comic. This is going to be Injustice #1. I believe it's actually Injustice 2 #1, although the cover sure doesn't say that. Batman, Supergirl, Green Arrow, and Dr. Fate. I believe this cover is exclusive for the McFarlane figures. I think there are standard releases comics. Now, one thing I don't like about this book is the exact same book that Batman comes with. Either one should have come with #1, one should come with #2, or they should have at least had different cover variants. One focusing on Batman, one focusing on a Green Arrow. In addition to that, he doesn't even have the hat on the front. Here is arrows, quiver, and bow. Arrows, one solid piece. You see the feathers down there. Little tips here. Then we've got his quiver. Can actually hold the arrows. It's got a peg that'll fit into the peg hole on his back. And his bow. a little bit of give here. It's got some wrap where the grip is. These three accessories are identical to the one that came with the video game Injustice version of Arrow. Here's Green Arrow with his quiver on his back. Can't really tell from the front, but if you spin him around, there it is. And let's put the bundle of arrows into the quiver. I do wish he came with at least one single arrow so he could hold it with his bow. Here's Green Arrow holding his bow. One hand gripping the front here, other one on the string. Now it doesn't really function, but it does have some give, so you can pose in a couple different ways. But if you hold it like this, it will be warped permanently. Do wish I had one arrow so you could sort of lay it on here. That would be pretty cool. Here are both sets of accessories. The accessories that came with the video game Injustice Green Arrow, and the accessories that came with this comic Injustice version of Green Arrow. Exactly the same. Then, next to the Platinum Chase variant, unpainted artist-proof versions accessories. And here, next to CW's Arrowverse TV show Arrow versions of the accessories. Now I wanted to check out the differences between this Green Arrow and the video game Injustice Green Arrow release. Now first of all, figures are very tall. Pretty much the same body. That original Green Arrow is one of the tallest figures in the line. He's right up there with the Hush and Three Jokers Batman. So let's check out the differences. Besides the obvious, the hat, I notice this one here is clean shaven. This one here has got a lot of scruff, a little bit of beard there. The domino mask is considerably different. The head is obviously totally different. And the color of the outfit is pretty much the same. I'd say exactly the same on the torso. Get down to the pants. This guy's had a lot of differences. The knives, the straps. His pants are totally plain. And the boots are pretty much the same. This guy has a little bit of different shades of green here, whereas his is solid one color. I really do like the hat version better. Just my personal preference of a modern, iconic Green Arrow. Here are all three variations of McFarlane's Injustice Green Arrow. The video game version to the left, the comic version in the middle, and then the unpainted, artist-proof Platinum Chase variation on the right. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 7.3 inches tall, which can translate to about 18.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, you can rotate from side to side. You can look up about that far, down about that far. Not bad there. Can tilt his head from one side to the other, giving him a good amount of personality. Shoulders, a ball joint, goes up about 90 degrees. Shoulder pads are soft, they move out of the way, they don't really obstruct anything. He doesn't have that typical butterfly joint, usually covers up that gap there, but the gap is pretty small, so I guess it's not necessary. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. His torso seems to be one solid piece. His waist is ball joint, rotate around, forward and back. Now, there is additional articulation here, but his soft goods overlay is really going to just completely negate that. Legs, complete as splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is non-existent. They go forward about that far, back, not much. Double jointed knees, they go all the way back. Then his ankle here, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's Green Arrow on top of a building, getting ready to hit a target from thousands of meters away. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Green Arrow and Archer figures. Here he is next to the video game version of Green Arrow. Then, with the unpainted artist-proof Platinum Chase variant of the Injustice video game Green Arrow. And here, next to the McFarlane TV show Green Arrow, here's the entire McFarlane collection of Green Arrow figures. I would love a classic, iconic version from the old school comics. Here he is, with all of my DC Direct Green Arrow figures. Then, next to a Mattel DC Universe Classics Green Arrow. This is the version I hope McFarlane eventually makes. Here's my entire collection of Green Arrow figures. There are plenty that I don't have. Here's Green Arrow, next to a DC Direct Red Arrow from the TV show Arrow. Then, next to a Mattel Young Justice Red Arrow. And here, next to a Mattel Young Justice Artemis. Now let's check them out, next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here are all the different McFarlane Green Arrow figures they've made. And here he is, next to the comic version of the Injustice 2 Batman. These are the two figures from this wave of page punchers. Here he is, next to the Injustice Flash. And here, with the Injustice Dr. Fate. And now, with the Injustice Gorilla Grodd. Here's the entire collection of McFarlane DC Multiverse Injustice figures from both the video game and comics. This Green Arrow is part of the second wave of page punchers. Here he is, next to the first wave of page punchers. Still need to find the black and white Black Adam. And here he is, next to Gorilla Grodd. This is the first mega figure in the page puncher line. And I believe he's part of the third wave, which is a Flash wave. They're actually labeled as in stock at the McFarlane Toy Store right now, so I expect my order to ship, hopefully tomorrow. Now let's check them out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the most recent mega figures, at least before Gorilla Grodd. These are Bane and Necron. Here's Green Arrow, next to some of the more recent gold label Walmart exclusive figures. We've got the Speed Metal Dark Flash, the Rebirth Shazam, the Nightfall Azrael Batman armor, and Parallax Hal Jordan. And here he is, next to the Rebirth Deathstroke, and the Court of Owl's Talon. Then, next to the Speeding Bullets Batman, and the Dark Knight's Metal Batrocidus. And now, next to the Blue Beetle and Booster Gold 2-pack. Here's Green Arrow, next to the Future State Superman, the Infinite Frontier Scarecrow, and the New 52 Static. And here he is, next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive gold label paint variants of the Arkham Knight Red Hood and Arkham Knight Scarecrow. Here's Green Arrow, next to the Black Adam movie wave. And here he is, next to the Blackest Night wave, collect to build Atrocitus. Now let's check him out, next to some Injustice figures I have from other companies. Here he is, next to a Storm Collectibles Injustice Bane. Then, next to a Mattel Injustice Batman and Joker. And here he is, next to SH Figure Arts Injustice Batman, Joker, and Harley Quinn. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing next to some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, next to some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, he's a really nice figure. I definitely prefer this head to the video game version of the Injustice Green Arrow. I really like this hat. He's also clean shaven, but he has a little bit less detail on his pants. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, no issues there. Accessories are pretty good, very appropriate for Green Arrow. Articulation is everything you would expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. I like him just a little bit better than the video game version, but they're almost the same figure. They really have the same flaws, being a little bit too tall. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.